All right, you guys, welcome to our success chat. I am excited to be back. We've got Jen and I, and Melissa's off tonight, but at one point we will get everybody together. You guys, I just want to say, first of all, it's July 26th, just so you know what day the call is. And summer's tough, right? Summer's tough. We got a lot going on. I bet as we get into August, it'll kind of like be where everyone's back home more, but then I know we've got school starting. We've got sports that are starting already. Dawn, I saw your excited comment about football, so life will continue to happen. And that's what the great thing about this is that we make it fit within our life and we make it work. So I hope I can share some thoughts with you tonight that can help you to simplify that, but also to just know that we have to just keep making this a priority. We have to put it in a position where we can do this and not get overwhelmed with everything else that needs to be done and make it complicated so that we don't. So hopefully I can share that with you tonight and you walk away with that breath of fresh air to say, okay, we can do this. So I want to start out first by recognizing some people. So here's what I want to challenge you guys to do. This list will be posted tomorrow, so I want you to congratulate everybody on this list. But I want you to look at this list and find someone in our group that's not on this list. And I want you to send them a message in the check-in. Just tag them when you check in tomorrow and challenge them to check in more this week. Right? So it's easy to get off. I know when we were gone, it was just hard to find that consistent time again to check in. So I recommitted myself as we've been home this week, right? So I get it. I know that it kind of gets out, but if you can keep these two bunnies, these simple habits in place, you will continue to make progress. You will. There'll be hard days and hard times, but you'll continue to do that. So let's help each other to do that. So when you see this list, congratulate the people on it, and then tag somebody in your post tomorrow who isn't on this list, and have a little competition or just encouragement. Tell them that you miss them, that you want to see them in this. Okay. All right. So congratulations for our leaders. So these are people checking in to the daily post every day. So Erin Huber with 7, Marlene with 7, Don Flint Hill, also 7 days. Congratulations, you guys. It's awesome to be there every single day. Michelle Proctor, so proud of you for being in here 6 days. Jared, also very proud, stepping in 3 days this week. I had 3 days. Deb Adama had 2, Paula Brown 2, Mary Devaney, Jen Jenkins, Amanda Sanford, and also Liz Shao checking in this week too. Okay, so you guys commit to being there. Have fun with that. Just make that a part of your daily routine. We're going to talk a little bit about tracking in your daily routine tonight. So we'll make it possible. All right. And then I also want to congratulate those who have lost weight. So big shout out to Erin Huber, 19 pounds. She's about 11 pounds away from her goal weight, which was 30 pounds. So cheers awesome. On. It's really awesome. Shauna also checked in. She said down 3 pounds, so I'd assume that was 3 more pounds because she'd already lost 4 pounds. So I put it as 7, so we'll make sure that's correct. But congratulations, Shauna, 7 pounds. Jennifer Hayes Jones down 6.9, and myself down 6.4. And Jennifer mentioned she deserves props because she had to lose this weight twice. I also was losing some of that weight twice. You guys, it's hard, right, to go on that up and down, but just really proud, Jen, of you to keep moving that forward and move those chains. So congratulations, you guys, to everybody on our leaderboards, and let's encourage each other and help each other get back into those routines when we start to get out of those a little bit too. All right, so let's talk a little bit about some tips that will help you. So I just put together 5 tips that I think that have really, when I was just thinking about getting home from vacation and really getting back into this and making sure that I was really good, or things that I actually did on vacation, I was really proud being on the road 3 weeks and didn't gain weight, lost a couple of pounds. I just really felt like it was these two bunnies have really helped me to be more mindful and create that. So it wasn't huge weight loss, but it was really just keeping me feeling pretty good when at a time when it's really easy to feel crappy when you're in the car all the time, right? So here are 5 things that I think that you can do to help simplify your success every week. Okay, so number 1 is set reminders in your phone to track. And I think Jen shared this before, some ideas like to put like maybe an alarm at like 10 and at 2 and at 9 p.m., you know, so that you're tracking after each of your meals. I'm going to tell you, like, that is huge, right? Just that quick reminder so that you can write things down. One thing that I found this week is that I was really trying to track everything at night before I went to bed, but my personality, like at night, it just tunes out. Like once I get the kids to bed, I'm just like, all of a sudden I don't have to be on anymore. So I'm wiped, I'm exhausted, and I just don't want to do anything late at night, right? But then in the morning, I am jumping on the scale, you know, I'm doing my journaling and getting ready for my workout and all of that stuff anyway. So I thought, okay, what if I just try to do this in the morning instead? So what I did for myself is just take pictures every day of my meals. So I've taken pictures, just put them in my phone, or you can put them in the nutrition app. And then the next morning I sat down with my journal and just filled out what I ate, you know, and had those pictures so it would remind me. I also have really tried to be diligent at putting in there how I feel. You know, if there's certain times where I was really stressed or, you know, I felt really tired, like I'm trying to pay attention to how I'm feeling when I eat, you know, as far as what I'm eating as well. And one thing the pictures have really helped with too is that, you know, it's kind of like you take the picture, you're done, right? Because if I add something or choose to eat something after I've taken that picture, I either have to try to remember it or I'm taking more and more pictures. So I have a documentation of everything I ate, and it's like, it's too much work. I don't want to do that. So it's kind of nice because I kind of put everything on my plate so I can take the picture, and it kind of creates some finality for me. Like, this is my meal. When I eat this, I'm done. So that's just kind of been a good mental thing that's helped with the pictures and to do that as well. So, but make sure that you set up a system, try some things, right? It's just like when you're tracking it and trying it, like just do some trials and find out what really works for you that gets you motivated to do this. But know that it only takes 4 to 5 minutes every day, no matter how you do it, to track it. So you've got to make it a priority. Okay, number 2, make sure you're tracking your water. You guys, a lot of times when we're not losing as much weight, a lot of times that has to do with water. I know Jen a couple weeks ago had just posted something. She's like, this is the most water I've ever drinking. And she was really feeling good, right? And having good weight loss. And so sometimes we don't think about that, but you know, that water is important and it helps to balance out against like the sodium that we're intaking or, you know, what's happening in our body and things like that. So really make sure that you track your water and make that as important as tracking your food. And number 4, so when you're feeding other people, if you've got littles, your kids, spouses, family, remember that it's not my food, that NMF, right? Not my food, right? You do not have to be the trash compactor. You are not the garbage can. You don't have to pick at their food. You have your food. Feel good about that and stick to your plate. And that will help with some of those little small bites and licks and tastes, you know, that are easy to get away from too. Okay. And then the last one, as I mentioned before, like really start to write down the emotional details of what's going on in your tracker, right? So a quick story, like on Tuesday, so I was doing the 3-day refresh, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Tuesday, we had family over. It was a state holiday here. Jared cooked up some really great food, smoked some ribs, and I just, you know, so I kind of thought in my mind all day, I'm going to have a couple of bites of this because I knew it was just food I really loved. So, but I was just going to keep 2 of those little bites. But, you know, when I found myself like taking a little bite of ribs and then grabbing one chip and dipping up some black beans, and like it kind of like set off this craving monster where I was like going back, and then I'd have like 2 cherries, and then, you know, so I was like, And you just kind of get that out of control feeling, that moment. And so the next day when I was going back and really thinking through that, then I was like, okay, I got to look at why that happened. And so, Jen had mentioned to use this app called Clue too, as far as kind of tracking our cycle and that time of the month and stuff for women. And I looked at that and I was like, oh, guess what tomorrow is, right? And I was like, that's where the craving monsters come in. So maybe a little bit of too much information, but for that particular situation and looking at it and thinking about it, it helped me to recognize that. And now I'm like, okay, I'm putting like reminders in my calendar that this is coming up. So I know these craving monsters are coming my way on these certain days. And that will help me, right? So it was just a learning opportunity. It wasn't good or bad. It was. And, as long as you track it and record it and learn from it, it's a really good thing, you guys. So I didn't lose any weight that day, but I didn't gain either. It just stayed the same. And I was a little bummed that it stayed the same, but I learned a lot from that. And so, I want you guys to recognize that too. Like, don't beat yourself up about that weight gained, because it can come off as fast as you put it on, right? So within a couple of days, you can really course correct yourself if you find yourself getting off course, or something that you really need to do better. Okay, so hopefully those tips will help you guys as you watch this and have a chance to comment and respond. What things work for you? What are some things that are really helping you, or really kind of creating some simplicity as you're looking at this too, to help you to do that. All right, so track it, learn from it. Then I wanted to just kind of talk about making it overcomplicated, right? I think as we get busy and we kind of look at things, like, we can choose to make this overcomplicated. There's a podcast, I can't remember who the guest was, but with on Tim Ferriss's podcast, and he was talking about how the things that we really like to do, we make them very simple. And the things that we don't like to do, we tend to make them very complicated, right? So let me just kind of give you an example. I'm a runner. I like to run. So this is a really easy analogy to use for everybody. So if you don't like to run, it's very easy to make it complicated, right? You tell yourself, okay, I got to go for this run. Well, I can't go today because I don't have the right shoes. And okay, I got to get some clothes. I got to have the right clothes on. I've got to tie my shoes just right. I've got to eat this before I go running. I've been taught to carbo load. So I got to go eat that. I've got to drink a lot of water, right? You put all of these steps in place, of what you need to do to go for this run. And then you ask a person who is a runner and you'll be like, okay, what do you need to do for a run? I love running. It's so easy. I just put on my shoes, run out the door, and it's simple, right? I could just go do it, right? So a difference in perspective, somebody that, likes running, or it's simple for them, and somebody who doesn't like running, and makes it very complicated so that they never actually get out the door on that run, right? So think about that with the 2B mindset too. Think about that with your 4 bunnies, right? With water first, with your vegetables, with getting on the scale every day, and with tracking, right? Are you making it complicated? I can tell you, for me, the hardest thing in that is always tracking, right? That's something that's always been something that I hate to do. So I made it really complicated, right? I would be like, oh, I got to carry this journal around, and that's just going to take a lot of time. And I don't, it's heavy. I don't want to put it in my purse, but where am I going to put it? I don't have anywhere to put it that I'm going to have it all of the time. What am I going to remember to do this? And, if I put pictures on my phone, then I got to transfer them. And, I was telling myself it was so hard to track my food, right? Instead of saying, oh, okay, I just got to stop for 30 seconds here, write this down, and move on with my day, right? So I want you guys to think about what you're doing and help yourself to keep this simple, right? Keep it really simple and know it's just these 4 things and you can do them, right? Water isn't complicated. Drink 16 ounces before every meal. If you do that, you'll probably get a lot more water than you typically would during the day, right? Just that one thing there. Drink 16 ounces before every meal. And then when you want to add more, drink 16 ounces when you first get up in the morning, right? So there's 5 opportunities to drink 16 ounces. So that's in and of itself, what, already 60, 75, at least about 75 ounces, right? So, and that's not even counting all just the other times you just remember to take a sip and things like that. Okay, so just create that simple rule. Veggies most, right? So if you had 4 or 5 things cut up in your fridge and you would just add those to every meal, no matter what, you would probably get veggies more, right? So maybe you just have a green salad, and it doesn't have to be the base for every meal, but maybe you just have a small one at each meal, right? It's adding in veggies as you go, right? And maybe come up with 2 or 3 vegetables that you like that you can have at dinner every night. And then if you get a second one, great, it's a bonus, right? Like, so you can start doing things that make that simple. It's not hard to jump on the scale. I guarantee you everybody goes to the bathroom in the morning. Everybody goes to the bathroom in the morning. So if you have your scale in the bathroom, it doesn't take any time to jump on that scale, right? So do that. Do that and allow yourself to be successful with this, you guys. Let me see. Oh, I was listening to a podcast that Alana had did, and she made a really good point when she talked about how we make things complicated, and when we feel like it's complicated. She said, it doesn't take a lot of time to. This was a quote from her: 10 to 15 minutes a day to do it. She's like, so you can take that time, or she said, I guarantee, and she kind of, she talked about all of her weight loss and things like that. She's like, I guarantee that you will spend at least, if not more than that time, being uncomfortable every day, right? So instead of spending that 10 minutes planning and doing things that'll make you feel better, you can either choose to do that, or you can choose to use that time to feel uncomfortable, right? And she gave some really good examples that really hit home for me. The first one, she talked about how many times she was sitting in her closet and that it would take her an hour each day to get dressed for school when she was younger. And it just brought me right back to looking at this pile of clothes in my closet when I was getting ready to go to work every day. And then at the end, settling for the 1 or 2 pairs of pants that I had that I felt comfortable in, and hating it that I wore these same 2 pants every other day to work because I didn't feel comfortable in anything else. Even it brought me back to just a couple of weeks ago where, I'm not feeling my best in my clothes, and so I tend to be distracted around people or feel like I got to suck in my stomach, and instead of just being comfortable and focusing on enjoying the people I'm with, I'm feeling uncomfortable and thinking about my body and, wondering if somebody's like thinking like, man, she lost or she gained weight in the past couple of months, and that takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot from us to be in that position, right? So it did give me courage to go after feeling better and to spend that 10 to 15 minutes doing something that helps me to feel good rather than to spend that time being uncomfortable. You guys, it's a good desire to want to be confident in ourselves, to have that belief in ourselves. And you know what? It's worth putting some things on hold for a couple of minutes to give us the opportunity to put us in a position to be successful with that, right? This is a good gift. This is a good thing to worry about. It's not about vanity or worrying, Alana said in one of these trainings, she said, your body's like 80% of yourself, right? This is 80% of who you are and what you see. And it's okay to want to take care of that and to feel good in that. So it is it's a good desire, and when we feel good about ourselves and we feel lighter and confident and happy with who we are, we can give more to other people. We can give the best of ourselves, and we probably have more energy and a desire to really do that. So if you guys are struggling, I want you to just take some of these tips tonight. I want you to think, and just after, we get off, after you finish watching this, like, I want you to really take a minute and write down what was that one or two things that stuck out to you. And I want you to have a plan of how you can do that for yourself, right? Instead of that excuse mode of why that's not happening, like, how can you make that happen? Because you know it's going to make you feel good, and it's really going to allow you to be successful. Okay, so let me end with 3 P's that will help you from moving forward from now and through the weekend to be successful. And then you keep implementing these every single day. Okay, so the first P, make a plan. All right, make a plan, you guys. Like, we all, especially as we go into the weekend, it's easy to say I can't keep on track in the weekend. It's just totally different and unpredictable. Well, right now, I want you to think about what you're going to do in the weekend, because we do know we can plan that. Are you going to go to a barbecue? Are you going to go out to eat with friends? Are you going to be at an event all day where you probably won't have much access to good food? Are you going to be home, right, and just not have much to do, and it's a quiet weekend, right? What are you going to be doing, and how are you go with those situations? If you're going out to eat, remember, to maybe look at the menu ahead of time. If you're going to a barbecue, plan what you're going to bring that you can contribute. That's a dish that you know will be good for you to eat, or that you will feel good about, right? So make that plan and have it, right? Okay, the second P, proceed with the plan, right? Now that you have the plan, execute that sucker, right? So when you go out to eat this weekend, order first, right? Order first so that you're not sidetracked or wowed with what everybody else is ordering and doing, right? So order first so that you have that and you're executing on that. And then you know what happens typically with that too, just as a side note, whoever orders first, most people kind of follow suit and order similarly to what the first person did. So you stick out, you do that for yourself and execute with that, right? Rely on others, rely on this group, share what your goals are, share what you're going to be doing and what you want to be doing so that you can really stick to that, right? So proceed with your plan. And the third P, that's when you start to see progress, right? When you have a plan, you make a plan, you proceed with that plan, then you'll see progress. You guys, again, you've got to track it. And you've got to see what's working for you. And if this week you have some things planned and you're going to indulge, and maybe it's not a weight loss week, that's fine. Get on the scale the next day, track it, and move forward. Even if you have gained weight, but you've proceeded with your plan and you've executed it, it's fine. It's going to be great. And you guys will get to where you want to go. It's all about proceeding with that plan. When we choose not to, and we kind of tell ourselves that, we don't want to do this, we can't do this, we don't care about what we're doing, then we start to fall off track, right? You do care. You're here in this group because you care, because you want to execute, and because you want to get results and feel great. So honor that and be proud of that desire, and come here with the best intentions to have that plan. Follow those 3 P's this weekend and you'll be really successful. Any questions? We're good tonight? All right, you guys. One thing that will help Jen and I, and I'm going to put this question up in the group tomorrow, or Jen, why don't you put it up, because I think you're posting in the group tomorrow. Okay. Just where you guys need ideas or support, right? We create several posts each week, and we want to be able to create some content that's going to really help you. So I'm going to focus in on maybe some meals that you guys can put in the freezer and things like that. When we have school starting and sports starting and things like that, it starts to make me start thinking about, I don't have time to cook dinner, right? So I always look for options where I can pull things out of the freezer really quick or do some quick things to stay on track. So that would be an example. But what are some things coming up in your life, or things where you know, maybe this isn't as simple for you yet, that, you know, we can help with some different ideas, Jen and I as coaches, as well as, you know, just getting support from your peers here in this group, right? So execute on that. And I can't wait to see you. Make sure you tag that somebody you know in your check-in tomorrow and encourage them to check in as well. Jen, anything you want to add?
I don't, other than everything you said tonight really spoke to me. So thank you for sharing. And I'm going to get my butt back in gear. I made a plan yesterday and I'm going to stick to it.
Good. It's awesome. All right, you guys, we got this. Have a good night.
Have a good night, guys.